Here we go. Video on or off, up to you. And we're working today with the breath a bit and just some movement with the breath. But I wanted to talk for a minute about and you know, settle in, do what you need to do. If you're still having your coffee, enjoy your coffee while I talk for a few minutes. If you want to set up your mat and move around. But you know, we talk about in Western medicine and science, we have the systems of the body, right? Everyone's probably familiar with your muscular system, your cardiorespiratory system, digestive system. And in yoga science, and yoga is a science, in yoga philosophy and science, we talk about energy moving through the body and having well-being because all of our energy is balanced. And this is represented by the vayus, the winds of the body. And if you looked at the newsletter from this week, today's poem was a very short poem by a man named Ross Gay about the body like a flute, the heart like a flute, and the wind comes in and plays us. And the divine moves through us. And in the word vayu in Sanskrit, va, the root of the word, is translated as that which flows, that which flows. And the vayus are these winds. And we all probably feel at some level when we are not flowing, when energy is not flowing, when we're stuck in some way. Most of us have probably heard of prana. And prana is sort of it's the governing wind. It is fundamental for the other four. It directs and feeds the other four, and it is in and up. It's in and up. It governs the reception of all things. So if you're sitting right now, or you're standing, or you're lying down, doesn't matter. Just get still for just a sec here. And just take a few rounds of breath and sense this movement of energy that comes in through the bottom, wherever you're sitting or standing, and moves up through your body and all the way up through the heart space and into the brain and out. So in and up. Take a couple of rounds of breath. On the inhale, feel that movement in and up. And then just on your exhale, relaxing back. Now really concentrate on the exhale. Feel the exhale come through your tailbone or your feet if you're standing and ground you. This is apana energy, apana movement. It moves down and out. It's associated with the pelvic floor, digestion, reproduction, elimination. And when we have good apana, downward moving energy, we are grounded. We feel steady. So allow there to be upward moving energy, forward moving, in and up, prana, and apana, downward moving. See if you can feel both of those movements. And then bring your awareness to your heart and your lungs. Dhyana vayu is associated with the heart and lungs, and it is outward air, outward movement from center to periphery. and it governs circulation and alignment. So see if you can feel your breath from your navel or from your heart sort of radiating out. Okay, and you could even add some movement here, because one of the ways we support Dhyana value is with vinyasa, so sun salutation. So if you wanted to stand up and do a sun salutation, you could, or you could just reach the arms up and come through heart center. We're going to do some movement together with this, but just feeling from the center out. And then bring your awareness to your throat and neck area. Udana vayu is associated with the neck, the throat, the head, and it is wind carrying upward. It literally holds us up. It is associated with speech and self-expression and growth. It's supported with back bends and with a breath called the bee breath. So we're going to do that right now. Inhale through your nose. And on your exhale, simply hum like you're like a buzzing bee. Inhale through your nostrils and hum like a buzzing bee. As you continue to do that for a few more rounds, can you move the buzzing, if it's primarily in your face, your mouth, or your throat, can you move it around, maybe up in your head or down into your chest? Just move the buzzing around. And then bring your awareness to your belly. Samana vayu is associated with the belly, and it moves energy from the periphery into the center. It's about assimilating, taking in all of life, all of your experiences, your emotions, your thoughts, and its expression is internal. But when it's out of balance, when we have a low amount of samana vayu, we can experience low confidence or motivation. So good at things for this are core work and twisting. But see if you can, in your next few breaths, feel like you're bringing breath into the center from the periphery, through your hands, through your arms, through your feet if you're standing, and legs. All right. So as practice today, the invitation is just to be aware of your breath. Let your breath frame the movements. I will present the movements in the class, all things which will support the balancing of all 5 of these values. And you just really sense this breath, this wind moving, this moving through your body. Is really trying to maybe there'll be a sensation at some point of, oh, this feels like I'm really got the downward energy, the downward wind going, or I've got this from center to periphery, just focusing on that. So let's take tabletop on your mats. Have your blocks and everything handy. And just move through some cat-cows. So on the inhale, we go to cow. And on the exhale, press the floor way around and come to cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. On your next exhale, drop your forearms to the floor, drop your hips back towards child's pose. Perhaps your head rests on the floor, your gaze can be inward. And then inhale, come back up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back towards child's pose. Inhaling, come up to cow. We've done this vinyasa many times together. So see if you can lengthen now both the inhale and the exhale as you move through the vinyasa. The inhale will bring you to cow. And the exhale either to child's pose or to downward facing dog. We'll meet in child's pose. So the next time you're in child's pose, just wait for us together to move together. So meeting in child's pose. And on your next inhale, stand up on your knees, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, let your arms float down to your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, tuck your hands at your sacrum, palms out, and bow down towards the earth, maybe coming all the way hips to heels. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, take your hands to the mat, take your forearms to the mat, and come down to child's pose. Inhale, up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, drop to your knees, come to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back towards child's pose. Elongating the inhale and the exhale to about a 6 count. Inhale, come up onto your knees, reach your arms overhead. This time, interlace your thumbs and reach your fingertips up. Take your gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, slowly let your arms float down towards your sides as you tuck your chin. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Interlace your thumbs the opposite direction. Reaching your hands up, take your gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Bring your forearms to the floor, hips back towards heels, child's pose. Inhale, come up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Lengthening the exhale. Inhale, come to your knees, come to cow. Exhale, drop your forearms and your hips back towards child's pose. Inhale to stand up on your knees, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, let your hands float down to your sides. Balancing on your knees here, bring your right foot forward. Bring your right hand to the front of your, to the top of your leg. So have your foot a little bit forward of your knee. And on your inhale, drop down into a lunge as you sweep your left hand up. On the exhale, you'll press into your front foot and come back to the starting position. Okay? I'm going to do that a few times, and each time I'd like you to think about lengthening the inhale and the exhale. So as we inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We find ourselves in the lunge with the left arm extended up. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? So somewhere between 5 and 7 counts. We'll do a few rounds, maybe 3 or 4 of these. Go at your own pace. We'll meet in the starting position. And then take both knees back to the floor. Inhale, sweep both arms up, interlace your thumbs, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling, and take your gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, let your hands float down, let your hips come back to your heels, and bow your head, tuck your chin in. Inhale, sweep back up onto your knees, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, let your hands float down to your sides. Balancing on your knees, putting any extra padding, if that was a little too much for the knees, put extra padding under your knees. Let's bring the left foot forward. Left hand comes to the top of your thigh. And on the inhale, come into the lunge and sweep the right arm up. Exhale, press into your front foot and let your right arm come back to the starting position. Same thing. Take this 3 or 4 times and lengthen both the inhale and the exhale as you go. We'll meet in the starting position. Both knees on the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Take the opposite crossing of your thumbs. Reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze up towards your hands. And now turn your toes under here. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, release the right hand to the right heel. Left hand stays lifted, left arm stays lifted. Inhale, sweep the right arm back up. Exhale, release the left hand to the left heel. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, tops of the feet to the mat, forearms to the mat, and hips to heels, child's pose. Take a few rounds of breath in your child's pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under. Press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands. You can have any amount of bend in the legs. And then Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, come into a halfway lift. Here, if you wanted to have your blocks in any configuration, you could have a set of blocks out in front of you on the highest setting. And on your exhale, you'll simply fold into yourself. Inhale, extend, halfway lift. You could also have the blocks stacked. Hands on the block stacked. Okay, if you don't want the blocks, you don't need the blocks. You can bend your knees. So we're just going back and forth here, inhaling to a halfway lift and exhaling to a fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, and exhaling, fold. And this supports the grounding energy. Exhale, fold, bending your knees any amount. And then everyone take hands to hips. Bend through your knees, sit back like you're sitting in a chair, and press up to standing. Take your time to figure out your, if you're a little bit dizzy, just take your time and come to standing. Take your feet about hip distance apart now. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, press down through the center of your body, one hand on top of the other, palms pressing down towards the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, press down. Tuck your chin slightly, like you're pressing on an imaginary surface. Okay, now extend the inhale to 5 or 6 and extend the exhale in the same way. Do a few more rounds here. Keep the top of the shoulders soft. Take the opposite hand on top as you press down through your hands. Top of the shoulders are soft. Gaze inward or chin slightly tucked on the exhale. After this last one, pause, just take your hands to your belly and take a few rounds of breath. Great. With your feet now wide, bend through your knees and take your forearms to your thighs. Okay, so you look like you're going to play linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks or whatever they do somewhere else. Good. Inhale, you're going to bend through your left leg and straighten your right leg and reach away from the right side. So make a long line of energy from right toes all the way through right fingertips. That's the inhale. On the exhale, you come back to that big squatting position. Inhale, straighten the left leg, reach through the left arm, and then come back to the big squat. So the inhale extends us, and the exhale, we come back to the big squat, okay? Again, try to lengthen the inhale, maybe to a 5 or 6 count, and then exhale, come back, right to the center. And let's do that a few more times in each direction. Good. Once you've done an even number and you're back in the big squat, straighten both legs, tilting forward, take a forward fold here, blocks available for support. Maybe you can bring your forehead to a block or to the floor. Hands can be on the floor. 3 rounds of breath. And then bending through your knees, take your hands to your hips and slowly press up. Right, keeping the feet wide and a slight bend in the legs. We're going to take hands. We're going to come into this on the inhale. We're going to come into this sort of an archer movement. So bringing your hands to your heart center. Inhale, we'll sweep the right hand long and take the left hand towards the right hand. Then we'll come back to center and then we'll reach in the opposite direction. So the exhale brings us back to the center. The inhale, we're going to reach out from center with the right hand, then come back into the center, reach out with the left hand, and come back into center. Just go at your own speed, but see if you can really keep a nice rhythm with your breath. Inhale and exhale, same length. And once you've done an even number, take your hands to your waist, straighten through your legs, turn your right foot forward and bring your left foot so that you're into warrior one with your legs. So left foot out, heel turned, toes turned out about 35 degrees or so, front foot lined up with the long edge of your mat. And then on your inhale, simply bend your front knee, bring your hands overhead. And on your exhale, straighten your front leg and press down, that same pressing like we did with the hands together, sort of pressing down through space with your hands. Inhale, bend through your front knee, sweep your arms up. Exhale, straighten the front leg, press down through your hands. Inhale, bend, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, press down through your hands. Inhale, bend through the front leg, sweep the arms up. This time interlace your thumbs, the awkward position, so not what you would normally do. And reach your fingertips up, take your gaze up towards your hands. And hold this for 3, 2, 1. As you straighten the front leg and release the arms down to your sides, tuck your chin and take a bow, bringing your hands to the back of your low back, your sacral area. And so you're in a pyramid type shape with your hands resting on your low back. Okay, release your hands down around your front foot, turn the back toes, and take your hips back so that you can step your right foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale to drop your knees and come to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Inhale, sweep up on your knees, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, slowly let your hands float down to your sides. Take your weight into your left knee and bring your right foot forward. So you're in the proposal pose. And then take both hands to the front of your thigh and come into a deep lunge. Lift your heart space here. Spread through the collarbones. And then bring your hands down around your front foot. Turn your back toes. Leave your left hand where it is and spin open into a twist. Reaching the right fingertips towards the ceiling. On your exhale, stay lifted, but simply turn your gaze to the floor as you rest your right hand on your low back. Inhale, sweep your arm up, take your gaze up towards your bicep or over to the right. And then exhale, turn your gaze down to the floor, rest your hand on your low back. If you need a block for that left hand, don't be shy. Inhale, sweep the right hand up. Exhale, turn your gaze down to the floor, rest your hand on your low back. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can lengthen both the inhale and the exhale. And then the next time you have your hand on your low back, both hands come back to frame the front foot. Reach your hips back as you straighten your front leg, releasing the front foot, then coming back to the downward dog. Inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, forearms to the floor, hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Take 2 rounds of breath in child's pose. Lengthen the exhale here for any steadiness that you would desire. On your next inhale, sweep up onto your knees, stand up on your knees, sweep your hands overhead, interlace your thumbs, reach your fingertips up, take your gaze up towards your hands, opening through the heart, and then release, exhale, let your arms just float down to your sides. Beautiful. Weight in the right knee now, bring the left foot forward. Both hands come to the top of your left thigh, coming down into a low lunge here. Lifting the collarbones. Good, then we'll take both hands around the front foot, turn the back toes under, lifting the back leg. Again, you can take a block to the right for the right hand at any height. Okay, with the right leg lifted, we'll inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, here, you turn your gaze to the floor and touch your back of your hand to your sacrum. So inhale, sweep the left arm up, take your gaze to the left, straight out of the camera or up towards your bicep or your fingers. And on the exhale, fold your arm back to your low back and take your gaze down to the floor. Okay, do that a few more times. Really lengthen the inhale and the exhale. Next time you have your gaze turned down towards the floor, straighten the front leg, come into a pyramid shape. And release, hands down to the floor, around the front foot. Draw your hips back, 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 back to release your front foot, coming back into downward facing dog. Widen your stance in your downward dog, at least to the edges of your mat, maybe even wider. And then bend through your knees and just take your gaze forward like you're gonna pounce. All right, and then press hips back up, straighten legs, tuck chin. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, kind of crouch like you're gonna pounce, like you're a leopard. And then press your hips back, straighten your legs. A few more rounds. We'll meet in downward dog. Bring your feet towards your hands. Bending your knees deeply, setting your hips back, forearms to thighs or hands to hips, pressing up to standing. Take the right foot forward, take the left foot back, toes out, warrior one on this other side. Great. Lengthening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. We're working these winds in all directions. So now on the inhale, bend through the front leg and reach the arms up. On the exhale, straighten the front leg, press palms down towards the floor slowly, right? Pressing all that energy or moving all that energy down and out. So inhale, sweep up. And exhale, straighten the front leg, pressing through your palms till arms are to your side, front leg is straight. Do that a few more rounds. Next time you straighten through the front leg, arms are down to your sides, tuck your chin slightly. Keep your eyes open here, or try this with your eyes closed, and just find your balance here. Kind of in a pyramid shape. Chin is tucked, arms are to the side. On your next inhale, step forward, bringing both feet together into Tadasana. Close your eyes, take your hands to your belly. Feel your breath. Feel the winds coming in, playing you. What Roski and many other people think of as this divine love, right? This was in yoga philosophy, the winds, energetic winds come in, they play us. It is the divine love that plays through us. Right, then release your hands and take your feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale the arms up, come up onto our toes, balancing on the toes, and then exhale, let everything float down. So inhale, sweep the arms up, come up on your tippy toes, and exhale, float the arms down, float the heels down. Now the trick here, now we got a balancing posture, but see if you can elongate the breath. A little bit harder on the exhale, but see if you can make the breath 4, 5, 6 counts. Great, then the last time you drop your heels to the floor, let's take the feet wide again. You can have your blocks with you if you need in the front, block or blocks. And inhale to a flat back and exhale to a fold. Great, then you'll set your blocks out of the way for this next bit. Bend through your left knee and walk your right hand over. Put your right fingers facing your left toes. You might be on the inside of your foot, right even with it. You might even be on the outside of the foot. And take your left hand to your hip. And then here, straighten the left leg as you come into a twist. Maybe you want to take the left arm up, stacking shoulders, up to you. And we'll take 2 rounds of breath in this twist. And then bend through your left knee, walk your hands over to the right side, bend your right leg, take your left hand and stack it or face it. Have fingertips facing toe tips. Right hand on your hip, straighten through the right leg, coming into a twist, maybe stacking the arms right over left, or leave your hands, your right hand on your hip, up to you. Any amount of bend in your leg is fine. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath here. Release your right hand back to the floor. Come back to center with your hands and then walk your hands forward so that you're in a downward dog with the feet wide. And then find a little movement in your pelvis, just like you would be doing cat-cow, but you're in this downward dog shape. So inhale, the cow shape. So pubic bone away from navel. And exhale, pubic bone towards navel. Draw your navel up and in on the exhale. So really engaging at the core. Move back and forth with this a few times. After your next exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet, heel toe the feet together slightly, so you can come into goddess pose. So knees are bent, okay, and the feet and the knees are lined up. You can rest your forearms again on your thighs, just like we were doing before. And then from here, let's inhale, straighten the legs, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, hands stacked on one another, press through your center. And as you continue to press, drop your hips and come back into the squat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, straighten the legs. Hands stacked, opposite orientation, press through your midline. And as you start to get around by the heart, you squat down with this. Inhale, sweep the arms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands are stacked, come right through the center. Eventually coming back into the squat as deep as you want. Bring the hands all the way down through, right through the whole midline, and inhale, sweep up. You could also come up onto your toes here. And then exhale all the way down through. Now see if you can just elongate this all. Some of this is borrowed from some other like Tai Chi kind of watching, right? So inhale, sweep everything up. Maybe come up onto your toes. And then exhale, everything back out. One more time, lifting up, pressing down. Keeping the knees bent. Inhale, release the arms over to the left. Exhale through center, reach over to the right. Exhale through center, over to the left. Exhale through center, over to the right. And then start to straighten the opposite leg from whatever hand you're extending out. And when you've done an even number on both sides, come back to center, release your arms down by your sides, palms face forward, close your eyes, straighten your legs, receive. You might even try the little bee breath here, just get some humming. You try working from the pelvic area all the way up through the body, so a really low hum for the pelvic area, and then as the hum gets a little higher in pitch, you move up through your body. Just try that little bee breath. See if you can feel the vibration moving all up and down the spine through the midline. You'll toe the feet together slightly, come down through a squat or right to the floor. Come into a hip balance here. Now you might suspect this is about moving energy from peripheral to center. We're really working our center now. So feel the energy, the contraction, the exhale right in the belly here. You could take the legs parallel to the earth or straighten, release the arms if you want. Anything is fine here. Just feeling this support of the core. Bringing the feet to the floor and sliding your buttocks towards your feet, coming down onto your back. Let's take a few rounds here of cascading rolling bridge. So as you inhale, pubic bone pulls away from navel, lengthening that space, then pressing into your feet, sweeping the arms behind you as you lift your hips. And then exhale, bring that all back down. You could add the bee breath, the humming all the way down to the floor. Take a couple rounds here. Lengthen both the inhale and the exhale. In this moving, rolling bridge. Inhale to press up and exhale to come back down. And our last go around, let's hold the bridge. So you could be resting on a block, or you can scoot your shoulders underneath and release your hands underneath and press, continue to press your hips. Draw your knees towards the short end of your mat, tuck your chin. Great posture for supporting all the energy in the body, all the winds. releasing your hand if you're up, releasing your block if you're on a block, and rolling down one vertebra at a time. Really feel that nice supportive massage. Once your hips are back on the floor, feet nice and wide, you can softly move from side to side with your knees. And then let's bring both knees to the left. So you're in a twist, both knees to the left. And here you could just stay in this twist, or you could turn your gaze over towards your right hand. And on the exhale, back up towards the ceiling. Continue to let your right side ribs drop towards the floor. You might even envision the whole right side rib of the rib basket touching the floor. Envision. Anything else that you want, you could straighten the top leg. That feels okay in your body. Scooch the bottom leg towards your midline and take it, that would be the left foot, take it with the right hand. But keep the breath steady, elongating both the inhale and the exhale. Next, inhale, bring the top leg up, set both feet down on the mat. Take a couple of rounds of pelvic tilting or supine cat-cow here, just to neutralize the hips. Go back. And then just begin that windshield wiper movement again. Knees right and left. You'll let your knees now come to the right on the exhale, and then breathing here, really steadying with your breath. Maybe you want to inhale and turn your head towards your left hand. Exhale to bring it back to center, or you can just stay. With each exhale, can you envision your left side rib cage, rib basket, the back ribs? Just envision them dropping down towards the floor. Straighten the top leg if you'd like that. If you liked it on the other side, scoot the bottom leg, that'd be the right foot now towards your buttocks, and take your right foot with your left hand. Sort of a pretzel-y shape. Continue the breath. Even breathing. Wherever you are, you'll stack the knees again if you change that orientation. Inhale, top leg up, both feet to the floor, and a few rounds of pelvic tilting to neutralize in your pelvis. Okay, so now from here, many options. You could just drop your knees together, take your hands, one to your belly space, one kind of to the lower heart space, and just Get in touch with the breath here, just feeling the breath with your hands. Directing in a way that feels right for whatever you might need today. If you need a little more energy, imagine the breath moving up the body towards the heart and the head. You could imagine if you have some things that are required of you coming up that require you to be with other people, you could move your breath from the center out towards the periphery. If you're feeling like you want to steady, imagine the breath moving down through all the parts of your body that are touching the earth, really grounding into the earth. Or just let it be. Letting this life force play you. Breathing you. At some point, just letting go of any intentional breathing, just being on your mat. Let your body be held by the earth. Soften, soften, soften. Soften your hands. Soften the lines around your eyes, between the brow. Soften the lines around your mouth, your jaw. Soften your heart. So you're welcome to stay in this restful position. We're going to finish with an Om together. You could just listen. You can hum. We're just going to get that vibration in our body. This final couple of minutes here. And if you're interested in sitting up to join in with the Om, Roll to one side slowly and take your time coming back to your seat. So we inhale through the nostrils and open mouth exhale. And then inhale to Om. Om. Namaste.